So I'm currently in this situation. I have a technology, may have filed a patent. Now I want to do a startup. Or I have an idea. Once I finish a project, I want to do a startup. How do I do it? I'm Leo, partner at US deep tech venture capital firm. Our firm has invested in many different technologies, including quantum computing, artificial intelligence, AI chip, biotech, to name a few. I previously did my Ph.D. in bioengineering at Harvard, followed by a postdoc at MIT in CRISPR genome editing. During that time, I published 10 papers and 6 patents. 2 of my projects turned into startup companies, one in early cancer diagnosis, the other one in high-throughput drug discovery, and another patent was licensed to a public company. During the past few years working at a venture capital firm, I have seen and talked to so many scientists trying to commercialize their technology. Some with great success, some fail to get funding. So I hope to share some of the things I think are helpful for scientists starting a deep tech company today. Your research is not necessarily your company. In research, this is often the case. I have invented this amazing technology and published this Nature Science paper. Now I want to do a startup based on this application. But in reality, this application may not be your best application to start a company. For example, during my PhD, my work was on development of drug-based microfluidics for early cancer diagnosis. Although I applied the technology to early cancer diagnosis, but microfluidics has so many other applications, including enzyme evolution, chemical synthesis, high-throughput drug discovery. So which one should I focus on? In your research, you may apply this technology to early cancer diagnosis because either it allows you to publish paper in high-impact journals, or it is the focus of your lab. But this does not necessarily make it a viable business. You have to think like a CEO. Your goal is to make a sustainable business, make some money and grow big, not publish more papers. Then the second thing you need to do is analyze each application carefully. Well, to make it into a viable business, the equation of making money is very simple. Number of customers using your product or service times the price you charge them minus your cost of providing this service or product. The part in bracket is the margin. It's how much profit you are getting out of each unit of product or service you're providing to the customer. Let's start with the easy part. Cost of providing a service or product. You can have a rough estimate on what your machine or service costs. It does not have to be exact. Rough estimation will be good enough. Then we can identify the number of customers. Let's use my example again. Early lung cancer diagnosis. Well, I can estimate maybe people over 50 years old who either have family history of lung cancer or smokes need to use this test. You can get a rough estimate of the total number of patients. Let's just assume it's 10 million people. For price you can charge them, maybe I can take a look at how much this is covered by insurance. For example, I will just give a random number. Insurance covers $2,000 per test per year. Then maybe we could charge for $2,500. So patient pays for $500 only. So the size of the pie is 10 million people times $2,500, which is $25 billion. This is often referred to as the market size. It's the maximum amount of revenue you can get out of this lung cancer diagnosis application. But of course, there are other competitions, either incumbents or other new players. So realistically, you are only getting a piece of this pie. How much a piece you can get depending on many different factors. Performance, cost, ease of use compared to your competitors. Then repeat this process for all possible applications. Identify your initial killer application. Well, why don't we just pick the application with the largest revenue from our previous calculation? Another important thing to consider is how desperate your customer need your technology for that particular application. Maybe this application has a small market size, a smaller pie, but there's no existing solution out there. And if you have the solution, then you are almost certain that people will start using your service or product right away. And you will penetrate the market, get the major share of this pie very quickly. Let's use a hypothetical example. Let's say I have invented a technology that can detect lung cancer many years before the current approach and costs 5 times less than the current method. So I'm sure if I can get this device manufactured, all the major hospitals in the US will implement this machine for early stage lung cancer diagnostics. Once I penetrate this market very quickly and start generating revenue, I can then expand to other disease areas, for example, in breast cancer diagnostics, colorectal cancer diagnostics, and many more. Because at that time, you have more revenue, and then you can compete with all the other players in the other applications. But map out the entire field first, list all the possible applications, look at their maximum revenue you can get for each application, and also how urgent your customer need your product, which is how fast you can penetrate the market. Startup is all about making products, not doing more research. I've talked to so many scientist founders, and one common thing I realized when I talk to them is that many founders still focus on optimizing their technology. So they start a business, they raise money, and they start to make version 2, version 3 of their technology. But I would say in most cases, when you plan to start a business, what you should be thinking is, when will I have the first demo ready? When will I have the first product ready? You don't want to raise $10 million today and publish another Nature Science paper in 5 years. Focus on the product. At the same time, you can have a team, a small team, dedicated to optimizing technology, making version 2 or version 3 of this technology. This is called the technology roadmap. These two roadmaps can move together, but make sure you put more emphasis on the product roadmap, because that's what generates revenue and keep you in the business. Identify your role and find good partners. The next thing on the list is, what is your role in the company? Do you want to be the CEO? If you feel like you are not a CEO type of person and you want to focus more on the product, maybe you can be the CTO. Or if you are not interested in making products, you just want to do science, you can be the CSO. But then you need to find 2 people for the CEO and the CTO. Regardless, very often you need 1 or 2 partners working alongside with you for many years down the road. Startup is really hard. You run into many big problems and small issues. Founder breakup is actually one of the common reasons why startups fail. You want to find someone who can support you along the way. Also, this person needs to believe in your idea or the potential of your technology. There are a lot of ups and downs in your startup journey. During up times, everything looks great. But during downtimes, for example, when no customer wants to buy a product, you and your partner still have to have faith in your product. Figure out what did not go well, and you're sure your next customer will buy your product, and this business will grow into a unicorn very soon. Get feedback from potential customers. One of the things you need to do early is identify potential customers and talk with them early. Very often, you make a product, you go out and give it to the customers to try, only to find out that customers don't even want it. You spent all this money and time to make a product that nobody wants. I mean, larger companies can do this, but startup companies don't have many chances. So to avoid this, talk with your potential customers early. They will let you know what features you must have, what features are nice to have, and what features they definitely do not want to have. Have those conversations early on. This will also help you identify the real pain points to solve first. Prioritize the features you want to include in your initial product. As you make demo products, continue to have those conversations. I think these are some of the things that deep tech startup founders should pay attention to before starting a company. If there's anything you want me to talk more, please leave a comment below. Also, feel free to follow me on LinkedIn and Twitter or X. Alright, talk soon.